105 North Avenue 52.
Prepare to be fucked by the objects of the law.
This isn't happening. Everyone look away, please. Nothing to see here.
You can't break those cuffs.
Make him away, Toy.
Welcome to Thought Cops, the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I'm Officer Kevin.
I'm Officer. I had a thing, but I forgot.
All right. What's up, Grant?
Hey,
Let's give a quick thank you to our guest from last week, Greg. And let's give a warm welcome to those clapping hands we just heard at the other end of the city. That's right, folks. We got our dear friend back on the show after a while, Martin Felshman. How are you, Martin?
Hey, boys. I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here.
hey, glad to have you.
Martin, I'm going to ask you the question I've asked a lot of other people who have been known to do stand-up comedy and are observing the current pandemic at hand.
It's sort of like a Lent, but it's a secular Lent, and it's been a year, and everybody's given up their hopes and dreams, I guess, and happiness.
Right. So
If you think about it.
how's that going for you, Martin?
Honestly, I can't complain. I don't think I can really say that I miss stand-up. I miss seeing people who I loved who also did comedy. Like, I miss seeing both of you. I haven't seen either of you in well over a year.
Yeah.
And,
I know a lot of
yeah.
people, man. It's yeah.
So I think I eventually will go back to stand-up, but it's all just going to be so I can see people who I care about.
And I want to get a good taste of those cupcakes again, Martin. That's what I miss.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Martin, you used to host a open mic and a show every week at the Gallery Cabaret, which I hope is still open. I don't know what places are open or not anymore.
They still exist. I don't know if they've opened back up for business yet.
Well, when it's all good to go, I hope that I'll see you there with a different flavor of cupcakes every week. Like I said before, when you came on the show, you know, it's a grind to get out there sometimes, do what you got to do. But knowing that Martin had those delicious cupcakes there waiting for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go.
It was one of my favorite open mics to do.
Yeah, definitely.
That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you both so much.
And I know you're staying busy in other ways, too. You've been doing a podcast of your own with our friend Brandon Kirkman, as well as Luke Evans, called Podzooky. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I've had you both on as guests before, and I got to say, those episodes were super fun. Podzooky, we do a good old-fashioned kaiju movie every week, or we, change the definition of kaiju to fit our needs to watch any kind of movie.
Stretch it a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, like, Kevin, we just had you on last night so we could do No Country for Old Men, which I will stand by was a great decision because that movie fucking rips.
It rips, and Anton Chigurh is a kaiju. And for those who are not in the know, a kaiju is a giant movie monster. Think Godzilla, think King Kong, think Mecha Godzilla.
Think the weird, fiery anime fox thing that lived inside of Naruto.
Exactly.
Oh, the Kitsune, yeah.
Yeah, that's a kaiju.
Hell yeah, it is.
And like I said, you could be creative with the definition. I do think a kaiju is at least 6'2" tall. So Grant,
I qualify.
You may qualify. You may want to ask your doctor to get that checked.
I'll check the the federal guidelines for what's acceptable. Maybe I could get some sort of relief money, kaiju relief money.
I mean, it's happening, man. And you can collect, if you're paying taxes, I think that's worth looking into.
That's a good point.
But yeah, you've had a lot of other guests on your show, a lot of guests who have been on this show as well. So definitely go ahead and check that out and stay tuned for my episode, which will be up at some point in the near future. But yeah, like you said, Grant and I have both been on before. So you got a lot of homework out there, folks. Get cracking. We're going to do a little bit of show news of our own, though. We've been streaming on Twitch, doubling down on that during the quarantine, twice a week, every Wednesday night and Sunday night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. I know, Grant, you've been playing a lot of Paper Mario on there.
Mario. Yeah. Cody from, what's the fucking podcast? Roast Mortem. I almost said Not for Human Consumption. I don't know why. Just
it's kind of
I'm
the
very tired.
Same circle of people.
Yeah, we're all like the same weird unofficial network of, people that, the
Island of Misfit Toys.
Yeah, the island. That's actually, yeah. Cody from Roast Mortem has been assisting me. He knows the game literally inside and out and gives me tips all the time as a somewhat hearty chat. It's been picking up. I know last time I mentioned nobody watched the stream one day. It's been picking up. People have been, interacting. It's been cool.
Guilt works. It pays to be a martyr.
Indeed.
So yeah, check it out every
it helps Christianity.
Exactly. So you're very, Grant, I've always said you're very Christ-like.
Well, that's true. I used to have long hair and a beard.
Yeah.
That's close enough. Jesus was a white man with long hair and a beard. So, yeah. Wednesday
and Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. You don't live in that time zone? Do the math. Figure it out. You're smart. I believe in you.
Yeah.
Check out our YouTube channel. We're getting close to 500 subscribers. We haven't been plugging it as much up until kind of recently. Why not? Let's get to 500. Hey, Grant, we'll do a video tour of our beloved studio here. You guys can see where all the magic happens, and I'm gonna
have to put a lot of things away.
Maybe do a little cleaning.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can just go ahead and follow us or subscribe, whatever the terminology is over at that website, youtube.com. Go ahead and search for Thought Cops. All the episodes go up there with the a lot of visual frills that Zwick will throw on there that you're not going to get listening to the old audio only feed. And we got a lot of other bonus clips and video features we've done over the years. So check it out. Thought Cops, youtube.com / I don't know.
Right.
Series of numbers and letters, basically. But let's get right along to it. 2 minutes of hate. Very famous, very favorite segment of the show in which we like to blanket punish all that annoying random crap that I'm seeing on the internet every single day. Because, folks, I can't stay away. And I know you can't either. So as I mentioned at the head of the episode, we are a year into the pandemic, at least in America. We've been lockdown started just about over a year.
Right. It's been like exactly a year for me. Like it was a year last year that I didn't go to work the next day.
Yeah. So like mid-March, just about there, we all started getting the emails, or we got the calls. Hey, don't come in, stay home. There's a big scary virus out there, basically. Kaiju in its own right, basically.
Yeah.
So we've been in lockdown for a year, and Zwick throwing some celebration sound effects here. We've adjusted, and I've equated it in the same way as what it's kind of like to adjust to being in prison. I don't like adjusting to this, but I've gotten really good at making friends with the rival gang members and everything. No, I'm just kidding. I've been really good at staying isolated and going crazy and losing what mental faculties I had left. It was sort of evident by listening to the show. If you heard the episode in which I spent 10 minutes laughing at a picture of a cartoon turtle, maybe you can relate.
That was good. That was good content.
Yeah.
Especially for an audio only format where people can't see the turtle.
Yeah.
They just have to imagine you're laughing at a turtle.
I could not help it, and I know you couldn't either,
right.
man. And we decided, we're like, should we leave it in? Should we not leave it in? Let's leave it in.
I saw the face. I think you were right to laugh. And I was also very impressed that you almost immediately could tell it was from Over the Hedge.
I mean,
I've never even seen the movie, but yeah.
I didn't get to explain in the episode, but there is a reason I know what that movie is. I've seen it with the sound off many times at a job I used to work at in college.
Right.
Would you work in like purgatory? What was that?
Yeah, I was
Basically,
worked in purgatory, and in the waiting room they play that movie with the sound off for the kids, keep them busy. So anyway, like I said, we've been in quarantine, pandemic times for a whole year now. Clap on the back for us, pat on the back. And I haven't heard this as much recently, but it's been popping up again for some weird reason. The terminology of, quote, the before times. And that was kind of cutesy, funny, last April 2020. Oh, the before times, But now it really has been a whole year, an entire era that we've gotten used to this sort of mental prison that we've been accustomed to in some ways.
So you can't say the before times now, but you could have said the before times in the before times.
And because
but what I just did was a cardinal sin.
Yes, it was. And like I said, I kind of take away my compliment from earlier, calling you very Christ-like.
Well, Jesus walked the desert and was tempted or something.
That's a good point.
40 days, 40 nights, no sex, or however that movie goes. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
I'm just going to yes and it. So I just want to say, quit saying before times. It's been a while now that it's not really an ironic joke. There really is a before times. We don't have to refer to it that way. We can just say, hey, it's a living. Take a page out of the book from the lamp from the Flintstones house. It's a living.
I have a punishment if you don't have.
No, please.
I don't know if this is appropriate.
That means it's good.
I'm gonna say it anyway. You remember in the movie The Land Before Time when the main character's mom dies?
Yeah, like the beginning of the movie.
You can say his name. It's Littlefoot.
Littlefoot's mom dies.
Yeah.
That happens to you.
Oh. Are you saying because it's the land?
Yeah, The Land Before Time.
The Land Before Times. That movie was about 2019.
And it's like a horrifying, like those fucking 80s cartoon movies are like heartbreaking. Like
that Don Bluth animation is like
it's haunting to your core.
Crushing. Yeah. Just like the lines on his face as he's like screaming. Like, why did they do that? Why did they have to make it so visceral?
God. So yeah.
Anyway, child-friendly Junji Ito. He knows how to get cosmic horror into a kid's heart.
Yeah.
But then along the way, I make some friends.
Right.
You're the one who was always eating the grass.
As long as I'm not the one whose father did a murder-suicide.
What the fuck was wrong with those movies?
I don't know, man.
That's
some dark shit.
Anyway, speaking of dark shit, Martin, what's on your mind, man?
Just in general, or for my 2 minutes of hate?
For your 2 minutes of hate, yeah.
I want to go ahead and give my 2 minutes of hate to the Activision Blizzard CEO, Bobby Kotick, because he recently got a $200 million bonus while their company fired 190 people in the last year.
That sucks. That really sucks.
Can we widen that just to CEOs in general?
I wanted to do him specifically because I feel like you can say eat the rich, and I definitely believe in it. But
you're right.
I wanted to point him out specifically because I saw this today. I don't know. I have a weird relationship with gamer culture in general because I love video games, but I would never call myself a gamer because anyone I know who labels themselves as a gamer is an incredibly toxic person.
I know, like I Joey mentioned in the show, it's gamer with a capital G.
Yeah.
Stay away from that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Capital versus lowercase. It's the biggest difference.
The ones who say the gamer word.
Yeah. There's no going back after that.
Oh, yeah.
So what like specifically, if you can sort of break down that aspect of like what exactly happened? Because I'm sort of like you in the sense that I enjoy video games, but I know nothing about anything having to do with them. I try and know as little as possible.
I think it's unfortunately like a lot of other things that I like the anime community. It's smaller insular circles where people aren't really challenged on shitty ideas that they have, so they don't really have an incentive to grow.
True.
So it's a bigger problem than I can really get into, and I'm not saying I have a solution or anything. I just in general have a weird relationship with liking video games, or at least that's the way I feel about it.
I feel like that's like it may be a weird relationship, but that's probably the healthy way to go about it.
Yeah.
You know, don't get too attached. Leo in the chat has a suggestion for you if you're ready for a punishment. He says he hopes the punishment comes in the form of a loot box.
Oh, that's a much better. I mean, the punishment I had written down was just murder him with a hammer. I wasn't going for poetic justice.
I mean, that's basically the Minecraft punishment, you know?
Yeah.
More or less. I'm not like what's been going on with Blizzard nowadays in general. Anybody can
I don't know, there was a whole thing with something with China. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And then something happened, and then people brought that up.
I don't. That was like either that was a year ago or 4 years ago. I don't claim to know.
Yeah.
But anyway, Grant, what's your 2 minutes of hate?
All right. My 2 minutes of hate. This is a 2 minutes of compassion.
Ooh,
it's not the segment.
But it is and it isn't, because I'm angry at the lack of compassion.
Okay.
And I think it's probably fair to say that the three of us probably don't like Joe Biden that much. Correct? Am I correct in my assumption?
I mean,
that's a really good assumption.
Thank you.
I mean, I know, like I voted for Trump. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't. No, I don't like him very much.
Right. I think the general consensus for a lot of people, and certainly not everybody, because there's a lot of Biden stands out there, and I don't really get it. But sure, I'm not operating. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, it's like, I mean, he cleared the very low bar of like leading the country better than a literal fascist. So, right. I mean, that's good in relative terms, but he's not like a good president in anything else.
Right. I mean,
he might not even be real. We'll get to that later.
And there's still things that can happen or whatever, and you want to make sure you're pushing things in the right direction and stuff like that. But like everybody else, it's fair to criticize him, right? You know. And this is not to get into the whole political landscape, because that's a quagmire if I've ever seen one before. And I'm not talking about that guy on Family Guy that turns his face into a toilet. I'm talking about Joe Biden here, folks. Anytime Joe Biden does something, and like bad things, you know, he does something bad. For instance, he bombed Syria. Oops, that's bad. What's the first thing Joe Biden bombs Syria? The first image that we all see is the picture of that one kid in the car that said, "It's either Joe Biden or a fascist, champ."
Oh,
chief.
yeah.
And it's like, imagine that's your face on the internet for the rest of your life. You know, I get that it was a bad take, and the video was obnoxious. We talked about the video on the show. It's also one of those things that it's just like, man, that person, like, imagine just seeing your face as people just like constantly mock you and like the mindset. And I'm not saying that the mindset is correct or incorrect. I'm just saying, like, from the point of view of, like, you know, we've grown up with the internet. We've seen fucking Star Wars Kid. We've seen Rebecca Black. We've seen like all of these people who just like get fucking like bullied into oblivion. And I don't remember how young this kid was. I'm assuming teenager-ish, maybe early 20s or something like that. But just like imagine people just anytime the president of the United States does anything, people just post your stupid face.
So you're going on record and calling it a stupid face.
I'm saying it'd be a stupid face regardless. If it was my face in that video, it'd also be a stupid face.
It could happen to anyone.
That's the point, is they go, oh, here's a stupid face. And it's not as though I don't think that, you know, that isn't a good symbol of everyone's frustration, because people had found themselves in between a rock and a hard place, and you know, getting talked down to by these Gen Z kids, you know, is very frustrating. I don't want anybody talking down to me, but at the same time, you gotta, like, I don't think that anybody that makes any of these videos thinks that they're gonna go super viral and get all this hate and, like, you know, and maybe I'm, you know, straw manning, and doing a disservice by saying maybe this person knows that they're the target of it, but it's like we haven't seen anything from them since that video. Like,
I mean, I haven't sought them out.
Right.
Perhaps they're out there making more vids. Who knows?
There's just something about it that like I'm deeply uncomfortable with. And it's one of those things where it's like it wasn't that bad. I get the sentiment against it. It wasn't that bad. There's, like I said,
it's a meme.
It's a meme. I just imagine being turned into a meme over something so fucking dumb. Just like every time the president does something bad, which is every time, the president's always going to do bad forever. We can't just. There's no good president. There's never going to be a good president. We haven't had any good presidents. They've all been bad. And just your face is just the stamp of disapproval every time. That sucks.
For now,
For now, until we all forget. But I don't know.
Someone else is going to take up that mantle. And I mean, like, is there a good thing that someone became a meme for? I honestly can't think of one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like it doesn't typically follow the path of positivity unless you're a good guy Greg.
I was going to say, or Keanu. Everybody loves Keanu. Big Chungus Keanu.
Yeah, but even that has kind of become like, people are like, oh, Big Chungus hecking wholesome,
But people still like Keanu.
We do, but
he's like a celebrity outside of being a meme as well.
True, right. Yeah. He's not Mayaha caliber, whatever that song was called.
No, the
wait, what did
Gary Brolsma, the guy who sang what the hell is the name of that song on
Numa.
Yeah, Numa
right.
Numa. What the fuck? I couldn't even remember that part of the song.
That's your idea of a meme, is just like go back to 2003.
Yeah, I mean, he's no Brian Peppers, but
Shogun of Sorrow in the chat says, I'll take a mahi mahi, please hold the mahi.
Get a little Numa on the side.
We should get Gary Brolsma on the podcast. What's he doing?
Sure. Why the fuck not?
We had Ken Bone on for an episode.
Why the fuck not? What's your punishment?
I don't know. Everybody be a little bit nicer to each other. We'll all make it through together.
Yeah, you feeling all right, man? This doesn't sound like you.
I know.
I love that, and I support that.
Thank you. I mean, it is one of those things where it's like, I don't know, the individuals, I'm all against, the yelling at the groups, the bad groups of people, the CEOs, the robots,
the lizard people,
those people, the landlords, you yell at those people, but individuals, it's like, yeah, we're all fucking stupid individuals. Maybe stop using that image every time. It just gets into the depth of the fucking shit we talk. Yeah, great. Another reaction image. I don't want to see it anymore. We all know. I've heard champ, chief, whatever, however many times. I don't want to hear it in my brain anymore.
Didn't you do it in the last episode?
Yeah, I do it all the time. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite. I don't give a shit.
I'm like, didn't I just listen back to the whatever?
Nope, that was me.
Fuck
I quote
everything.
it all the time. Hey, whatever the final episode of Thought Cops is going to be, the 2 minutes of hate that I'm going to bring in for the last ever episode of Thought Cops is going to be myself.
Wow.
And it's going to be 2 days worth of hate. And it's just going to be me recanting every way that I suck. It's going to be plentiful.
It's weird to think that one day there will be a last episode of this show.
I'm going to keep kicking that ball down the road as far as I can.
Speaking of kicking that ball, if you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories and then sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and often quite unusual punishment. So let's talk about, we were talking about Biden earlier. Let's talk about, we can discuss his policies all night, but let's talk about, is he real or not? Is Biden a CG model? So this is going around. People are sharing this clip where Biden appears to almost be clipping himself over an interview here, which I guess we'll play the video. We'll describe it to the listeners at home. Unless you're watching on YouTube, you can see it with the video.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zwick.
Yeah, thanks, Zwick. So he walks up to this group of reporters.
Looks normal so far, right?
There's a microphone, but then his hand goes over the microphone.
It goes behind and over.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's replaying right now, but like he looks like a bad CGI rendering.
Their microphones look like the little guys at the bottom of the screen from Mystery Science Theater. They're just kind of floating there.
But then he reaches over them.
Yeah.
So this has caused a lot of hubbub because we're all at home bored, working from home on Twitter instead of working and watching this video and going, is Biden real?
Did they just film all 4 years like back in November?
I mean, is no one has no one brought up the fact that could just be a really giant microphone?
So it looks like a boom mic.
But it doesn't, like, you can see like the edges of it over like a lot of because I was like looking to see the comments on the video, like anybody is maybe, playing devil's advocate, explaining what may or may not have happened or whatever, and people are like, no, like you can see the edges, and like
it just looks like a very big boom mic, and it just that the like perception of where you think that it is it's just lower. It's lower, but it's
I even still, like, it looks very strange.
Well, it's an optical illusion. It's like when you opened up Highlights magazine for kids and you looked at it and you were like, wow, look at this, stairs goes ups and downs, but it's not ups and downs. It's an illusion.
Under and over, apparently.
Who's your fake trader president made by computers?
So yeah, this is strange. I mean, it's possible that it's a weird camera lens trick, not a trick, but like a mistake,
an illusion,
like some distortion or something.
Yeah, something weird. But I guess I don't know. It just, again, it's very weird, and it's you got to know to look for it.
This is almost like it's a conspiracy of the level of like the JFK shooting, because there's like multiple. I'm looking at a video that's multiple angles, and you can see right down here. I don't know how this comes off as if you haven't seen the video, you got to watch this video of CGI Biden, but you can see there it is there. You see? Do you?
Yeah, I'm looking.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't claim to be an expert. I do think it's strange, though.
I don't know if there's anything else to add to this. Kevin, I think as your key to the city one time, you brought in like that one Twitter account that was like the bad renderings or something like that.
Yeah, what the hell was it called? Like
I don't know.
Real life graphics, I think.
Yeah, this is like a real life graphics.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to say I'm going to reuse a punishment from last week. They should replace the Biden model with the recycled Sonic the Hedgehog model they didn't use. Just have him out, with the fully realized teeth and everything.
Right. Oh yeah, with those human teeth and those human legs.
Either that, or I want to see Biden T-pose for like a split second. Like, if you pause right here, you can see him just start to float across the White House lawn in the shape of a letter T.
There's like there's also weird news articles now that are like fact check, Joe Biden is real.
Okay.
So yeah, this has become a thing.
It says it says a lot about, I was going to say society or our country, but it says a lot about humanity where that has to be said.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm just thinking of all like the weird fucking QAnon shit and stuff like that. Like he's a hologram president or something like that. I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, stop clock,
Maybe this is just test footage for Joe Biden in Fortnite.
I hope so. I would love to spend hundreds of dollars on different dances to make him do.
Yeah.
Fucking chicken dinner. Floss. Dab. $30 of my allowance.
Just wiped out Washington, D.C. town. You all know that song?
Sadly.
That's the Fortnite song, right?
I don't know, man. Something about Tomato Town. I don't know. What's up with Bill Burr? I see you're on an article about Mr. Burr here. Bill Burr in hot water with feminists over Grammys joke, as he predicted. The guy predicted that if he said something like this, somebody would get mad. Okay, let's hear it.
So we're all comedians and whatnot. I think it's our job is, being on the pedestal that we're on, that we can criticize, definitely more famous, successful comedian Bill Burr, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Bill Burr offer is open to come on the show.
Yeah,
I know
please.
you're listening.
Right.
Was I the only one who wanted to kill himself during that piano solo? I bought a suit for this. I thought I was going to be on TV. I'm such a moron. I am losing so much money right now. All right, shout out to all the rock stars that I wanted to meet tonight who are watching at home instead. I'm talking to you, Don Dawkin. All right? What, I'm old. That was my first concert. All right, here are the next categories.
It's got to be painful.
All right. Hey, how many feminists are like going nuts? So why is this cis white male doing all this Latino stuff?
So that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way Bill Burr talks.
Yeah.
Why does he always sound like he's like gonna cry? Kinda.
That's just
wanted to be at home
because he's a high-pitched Bostonian. I think that's just how he talks.
Ever known the city of Boston to be a city of crybabies?
Have you never been to Boston? It's all crybabies.
I haven't.
Well,
have you?
Yeah, my sister used to live in Boston.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that?
Right, yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, Mr. Burr.
That's what they call it. The city of crybabies.
Boston strong.
Yeah. Boston strong.
So yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm having a hard time caring about this.
I'm having a hard time caring about anything, but I'll pretend to have an opinion anyway.
Right.
I mean, he said it to rile people up, but it's one of those things where it's like it wasn't even a joke. It's just a thing that he said, and I'm having a hard time thinking that there was even like any level of malice behind it. Just in terms of, I don't know. This is hard. Pretending to care.
Yeah, I guess so.
Martin, do you have any strong takes or opinions that we can bounce ideas off of? I'm having a hard time with.
We got a wheel we can spin.
The wheel won't do too much just yet. We haven't gotten to the punishment.
When we get to the punishment,
yet.
We got this wheel.
I don't dislike Bill Burr. I mean, he says a lot of stuff to be controversial, and this isn't even.
Right.
Again, it doesn't even really sound like a joke. It sounds like he's just kind of frustrated because he was expecting this to be a bigger night.
Yeah.
And I'm more upset at the dude who tweeted this, who was like, "You're really mad at Bill Burr about this? What a bunch of snowflakes!" And the cry emoji. It's like, you're defending this of all things. This isn't even like good material.
Yeah.
Like he probably forgot he even said it.
Yeah, like it's like I've already forgotten what he said. That's how unimportant this is to me, at least.
Yeah, I guess the more important aspect of it is the broader cultural implication of now this has gotten spun into the culture war, and people on all sides are either doing the one thing or doing the opposite. So you got a bunch of people that are like, this is genius. It's hilarious that he said that, and it's like, it was literally a throwaway line. You don't have to, it's the whole, he was joking. It's like, I don't even know if it was a joke. He was just he was filling space because there's no audience, and it was awkward to watch him try and speak. First and foremost, and then you got the other people that dredge up all this shit that he said in the past, which is like, some of it's not necessarily great or whatever, but it's like, is this the hill that, again, it's like, how much, I got the fucking
it's a waste
economy,
of my time.
Man.
It's a waste of my time.
The economy,
Yeah, man.
Like the fucking world is burning, and we're just like, this comedian.
This guy's still on here like, what a bunch of snowflakes. Does anybody say snowflakes anymore? Like, is that really like something that people throw around?
It's very pre-Trump era level anti-SJW shit.
Bunch of weak-willed people who can't come up with clever insults love using it.
And it's like, I'm sure there probably is some Medium article out there somewhere that talks about like how he shouldn't have been the person to present this award.
Oh yeah,
but I don't think most people care. I don't know.
Like with as Grant said, like with all the shit going on in the world, I think anyone with common sense just wouldn't give a shit about this. And anyone who's looking at this is like, Bill Burr is the apex of great comedy. It's like, fuck you too.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a president who may or may not be a fucking Fortnite DLC character. I got bigger problems, okay?
Yeah. Or like, and then they started dragging his wife into it, which is also just like scummy on all sides. Because then there's some people that are like, well, he can't be racist because, you know, he married a black woman. And then there are other people that are like, well, actually, that's more racist. And so his wife was going through on different Twitter threads and telling people, hey, shut the fuck up, which I think is a pretty like fucking boss move to just go around and tell people, shut the fuck up.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, those people are fucking vampires for sure. You know, it's like nothing else better to do, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I am so bored of Bill Burr discourse. This is like the 5th or 6th Bill Burr story that's come up on Thought Cops, and I never know what to say about it. To be honest, I don't really get his humor. I've watched like 2 specials of his. It's just not my thing.
Which is fine. Whatever.
And that's fine. I respect the guy. He seems like he's very talented. A lot of people I know like him, find him very funny. I know, Grant, you like him.
Yeah, and I like go back and forth on him. I mean, like you
like when he says stuff like this. You're like, I fucking hate snowflakes, man.
Yeah, I love when he goes after the right people. You know,
you don't care for the actual jokes. No, I'm just.
We were talking about it a little in the Discord channel, because there were a bunch of people that were just like, yeah, I just really don't like him, and it's like that's fine. I mean, every form of art, if you want to consider stand up like an art form, which you know I do. I'm an artist. But like the point being like, yeah, like not everything's going to appeal to everybody, but I do think that he's self-aware of the fact that he does come off as an incredibly ignorant person. And I think that's just his style, and that he like works towards being able to present that person. And it's not as though I think that it's inauthentic. I do think that it's an authentic representation of who he is, but he sort of drums up like, he will say really ignorant things and be like, yeah, I'm fucking stupid. Listen to how ignorant I am. Like, this is dumb. No one should say this. And it's like, yeah, and like, there's an avenue for his comedy and shit like that. But it is weird that like people don't pick up on that he's just he's trying to be the punchline of the joke.
Yeah. And I mean, that's an approach, you know, and I mean, I can see why people would like that. Yeah. But anyway, I'm just like, his comedy aside, I am so bored of like this fucking discourse around what he said. Well, he was on SNL and he said this during his monologue, and people are talking about it on vulture.com because apparently vulture.com is still a thing, which I only know about. I didn't even know
that was a thing.
I only know about because like fucking Bill Burr or Dave Chappelle or whoever fucking says something on SNL.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything interesting to say about it, and nobody else does either. Anything I read about this, it's just like,
it's very bland. It's like they're trying to make him some sort of a scapegoat for like all these cultural problems that we're having, and it just like never sticks.
And it's always for like one way or the other, either for or against it, and they point to Bill Burr, and he doesn't even really seem to know or care. Right. And it's just like, what is this getting? This is getting us nowhere.
And I've listened to his podcast enough to know that he's like a very middle of the road guy. Like he does come off as more reasonable than like than his act would sort of allow you to think.
I mean, that makes sense.
But he's also like, he also is not 100% educated on every single topic that he talks about, but he talks about it anyway.
And neither are we.
Yeah. With the exception of, he says, I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't fucking listen to me. So it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't think he's like a bad guy, and even if he is, he's just I don't know. It's hard to fucking pin down, but like you said, it's more boring, and it feels like just a fucking hamster spinning on a wheel and then tripping and just like yeeting itself out of the wheel.
I mean, so I'll just say, like, just for the sake of like this episode, you know, this is sort of a boring news story, and it just sort of like has brought me to a point of realization where I just don't want to hear about this anymore. I don't want to hear or read any more articles or think pieces or even opinions about Bill Burr anymore. I don't want to talk about this anymore in the show. It's just like, and I know we didn't have a whole lot else to pull from, but I mean, this is just what it is. It's just, okay, yeah, he made some comment in a room where there is clearly only one or two people, so
yeah,
comes across a little bit extra awkward.
I only want to hear from Bill Burr if it's more information about the next season of Mandalorian, and even that, I don't like. I like the Mandalorian just fine. I'm not obsessed with it. Like, I don't even care that much. That's just the only thing I want to hear relating to Bill Burr.
I hope they put him in Better Call Saul, because I always forget that he was in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
He had that very small role, and I'm like, why is he not showing up in that yet?
Because he doesn't have hair anymore.
I guess so. Yeah, put him. There you go. That's my punishment. Grow some hair and go on Better Call Saul. I mean, they gave Odenkirk more hair. You know, they could do it.
Yeah, true.
I'd see that.
Let's move along, though, here. I want to talk about this infographic that's been going around Twitter the past week. This is the handy-dandy chart. Everybody should save this on their phone like I have. It's called the Aggressively Bland White Dudes Watch List.
Yes.
Martin, have you seen this?
I have not.
I'm going to post this in the Discord chat for anybody else who wants to go ahead and keep this on their phone. Perhaps save it as their lock screen background just to have it on hand at all times. So I'll go through and read some highlights here on the list.
This is one of those lists that it feels like a big compilation of other movie sentiments, which I feel like you can boil down people's opinions of movies on Twitter to just like whether or not a man likes a movie, because it's all just like, oh, a man likes Fight Club is bad. Like it's that level of just like never let a man tell you what is a good movie, because they will say something like Fight Club. It's always that type of shit. And so this is just like the distillation and compilation of all of these different types of movies.
Exactly. So I'm going to read one here, actually, just to start off. You mentioned Fight Club. They have a subcategory here. It says movies about white guys and well-paying office jobs snapping. Typical examples: American Beauty, Falling Down, Fight Club, and Office Space.
Office Space was a satire of those types of movies.
The viewer identifies with wealthy upper-class white male protagonists that commit malicious and often violent acts in order to rebel against the system. We have another example here. This is not a movie, but rather a TV show, The Sopranos. The viewer ignores the writer's warnings of toxic masculinity worship and rampant consumerism and enjoys the superficial racism, homophobia, and violence. I mean, Peter Griffin said it best, you know, seems today that all there is violence in movies and sex on TV. You know, I mean, really, weirdly enough, Family Guy's not on here, though. So I guess
he said, where are those good old-fashioned values?
Lois said it.
Said it.
She kind of came in on that verse.
Is Family Guy not under movies about white history?
It should be, honestly.
Family Guy is a piece of white culture. I just don't want to really, you know, that's not me. Okay, that doesn't represent me. They Live, the film They Live by John Carpenter, a staunchy anti-capitalist film whose message is misconstrued by the white dude. The protagonist's discovery of a secret class of overlords is often falsely paralleled with the viewer's own experiences of reading Jewish conspiracy theories on the internet and becoming red-pilled. A lot of this stuff is like, because people will misinterpret the message. Like the last two examples, they said that the writers didn't even intend for this to be what people take away from it. So they're more mad at idiots who don't know how to read subtext.
So this whole list is just don't let dumb people enjoy media?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And instead of it being like, you know, the onus is on the dumb people to be like, hey, if you're looking up to the Joker, maybe you took the wrong thing out of the Joker. Instead of saying that, they're like, this is a fucking aggressively bland, like they're putting the onus on the movie. And it's like, yeah, no, like a lot of these movies like they say, one of the ones that really irritates me in here is any 1960s Western. Just any of them. There's hundreds.
Another one here is movies about downtrodden white guys snapping. Typical examples, Joker and Taxi Driver. The white guy identifies with a lower class depiction that he believes mirrors his own struggles, even though he has never had to suffer through similar hardship. The viewer feels cathartic pleasure from the protagonist's violent lashing out of society, even though the movie clearly depicts it as a needless and preventable tragedy brought about by a crisis of identity and toxic masculinity. And again, we agree. We're on the same page here. My favorite one, though, is Twin Peaks. It says the pinnacle of Lynchian pseudo-intellectualism satisfies the viewer's craving to be seen as an intellectual despite having no content besides wacky randomness.
That's not what happens in this show. It's just not wacky randomness.
Shogun of Sorrow says, I can't believe Pulp Fiction isn't on there. I'm actually surprised I don't see any Tarantino movies on here.
Oh, there's got to be like a backside of this, and the category is just feet.
Yeah, you didn't flip the page.
There it is. Yep.
Do we know who made this? Because I've seen this circulating, but I would love to know who fucking like conjured this.
I don't.
Piece of evil.
And that's the one disclaimer I wanted to put out there is this could be bait, as they say. Let's just say that's this week's Thought Cops word of the week. Bait.
Yeah.
When somebody makes something intended to make you mad, bro, and get a reaction. Good use of time.
I could see these takes, but they're all written in such a way where it feels like this is bait.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like they kind of like, yeah, I mean, like, again, this is like the issue here is with like the people who watch South Park and they're like,
right,
I fucking love Cartman, dude.
Yeah. I don't, but the thing that at least makes me feel like it's not, and it very well could be just bait. One of our listeners could have made this so that we talked about it on the show. Get it to go viral just for the sake of hearing two aggressively bland white dudes give their opinion on these aggressively bland movies.
Excuse me, I'm here too. It's 3.
3. My bad. The whole point being, what's the adage about like satire and like if satire in and of itself is indiscernible from the thing that it's trying to satirize,
that
sort of thing.
That stupid picture of that guy wearing that tank top where he's like pointing at it. It's got all that like fucking text on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of that, regardless of the fact that I hate everything and that I have to speak so carefully all the time. It is one of those things where it's like enough of these sentiments have been, construed to the point where it is indiscernible from like things that I've seen people say before. So the utility of it being a big joke is kind of stupid because people think this, people do think all of these things that are written on this sheet of paper, or instead of sheet of paper, image. It's an image, but nevertheless,
it's a handy dandy infographic. So yeah, I think we should make one. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like
aggressively bland black. No, I'm kidding.
Jesus. I wasn't expecting that.
I'm of
no,
course
I know.
Kidding.
Yeah.
But there is like a certain level to some of this stuff where some of these things are like widespread cultural phenomena that are enjoyed by people across all different races, and I do feel like there is like
and genders and
age. And everything, but there does seem to be like a certain underlying racialized aspect of saying like, oh, if you like any of these movies, even if you're a minority, you're like one of the sort of like more white passing minorities, which I feel like is inherently like pretty racist to say like, hey, if this is how you identify, like actually you don't live up to the standards of, your perceived identity. Like we're going to construe you as being of, whiteness, which is just like, we maybe we should stop doing this.
That was very much like an early 2000s thing for sure. I'm not saying it doesn't still happen, but right. I remember that a lot in high school.
Yeah.
Actually, this reminds me of someone in the Discord was posting some comments that were on your TikTok video.
Oh,
which
yeah,
I think are actually fairly relevant. So you put out this video, dudes from Chicago be like, it's you and your film. I'll let you describe it.
Well, I walked the Batman one.
Yeah.
I walked around the city and found all the Dark Knight shooting locations and said, do you know they filmed Batman here? And it's just like 7 different locations of, do you know they filmed Batman here? Do you know they filmed Batman here?
And there was like several comments of people being like, yeah, I guess this must be a white thing because I don't know anyone who does this. And it's like,
right. And there were definitely plenty of people, again, from all different like races and genders commenting like, I've lived here all my life and I do this. And it's just like, so we're just going to, I guess, discount everybody. Like,
and again, an incredibly popular movie.
Right. Exactly. Like, yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
But it's like, why take it there? What were you going to say, Martin?
Oh, I think people just do that when you see a thing from a movie. Like when you go to New York and you see the fire station that was in Ghostbusters, you're like, whoa, that's from Ghostbusters.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just all the locations, the old post office, Millennium Station.
Actually, when I go, I'm like,
Wacker
that's actually from Lady Ghostbusters, what the movie was called.
Lady Ghostbusters.
So yeah, I think I'm trying to think of like a punishment to flip it around, but like, I don't know.
I think we just get rid of movies. I think that we just can't have movies anymore. That's kind of how I feel about a lot of this stuff.
I agree, actually. I think
we should take this shit away.
We should all watch Cocomelon on Netflix, like shows for like learning letters, numbers, colors, things like that. You can't really pull anything. There's no agenda to it. Just, personal growth. That's it.
Well, it's like the thing about like Vietnam War movies and how a lot of directors back then like tried to show through like the graphic violence, like the horrors of war. And then you get people like my sister's dumb Italian husband that watches Full Metal Jacket, and he watches the scene where they're fucking playing rock music as they're like, taking the helicopter like along the beach, and the one guy's talking about like, oh, we can probably surf these waves later, as they're just like gunning people down, and watches that scene and is just like, yeah, cool, awesome. Oh wow, Fortunate Son, my favorite song, and it's just like. What they're doing is awful, and they're just doing it so callously that they don't even realize that they're like exterminating lives as they're talking about surfing the waves. Like that's the point. And just because there's dumb people out there does not mean that Full Metal Jacket is bad.
I prefer Brotherhood personally.
Is that
I'm waiting for somebody
Full Metal
to
Alchemist joke?
Yeah, that's a good. I liked it, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of those you don't have to laugh, but you can go like, yes.
You can't see it, but I appreciate it a lot. I got a big smile.
I can hear it.
Well, speaking of smiling, why don't we criticize another famous comedian? I think we can wrap this one up. Should we bother with this?
Nah, I don't even want to bother with that.
All right, let's not bother with it.
Yeah. Let's move on to something good. Key to the City. How about that?
Sure,
something nice, something swell, something positive. We saw Key to the City.
Better than talking about Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
Thank you, God, for making me not do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I figured it'd be fun, to do some comedy criticism.
Yeah, we already had the comedy section.
Yeah, that's fine. What
we already covered that.
All the things we said about Bill Burr, the opposite about Steven Crowder, like the exact opposite.
Yeah, you do the homework.
You do it, and you do Thought Cops in your head. What do you think we would say about it?
So my Key to the City this week goes to Bulby on YouTube. Bulby. They do a lot of video game covers, like 8-bit tracks or 16-bit remakes of Grant just Googled Bulby, and it's just a bunch of it's like Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, the light bulb from the Queens of the Stone Age album, Era Vulgaris.
Bulby from Jimmy Neutron.
Oh.
Anyway.
Oh, I remember Bulby.
So yeah, Bulby on YouTube. He does a lot of these remakes of, like, for example, he's got like a track from Bowser's Fury, but it's like he does like an 8-bit visual with it, along with like an 8-bit using like the same NES like sound font for like the music when you're sailing around on Plessy's back and the game. And there's a lot of other cool ones like that. There's like a Wind Waker the ocean theme, but it's like in the Super Nintendo Link to the Past sound font.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah,
that sounds tight.
It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I guess that's what that would be like if it was, from the same series, but back then. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just discovered it today. Martin, key to the city.
Listen. I want to give my key to the city to every USPS letter carrier, because as you were saying earlier, like pandemic for me also has been like pretty much exactly a year. I remember I was told to stay home from work the same day that Animal Crossing came out, and that's pretty much it. I have been in my apartment pretty much since then, and I've been consistently getting mail, and mail has gotten slower, but that's not their fault. They're getting worked so hard, and they deserve all of my appreciation, because I'll be honest, most of my days during quarantine were bad unless I got a package. Whenever I got a package, that was a good day.
That is a good day.
Same. I feel like I was going out of my way to buy more packages to be like, this will fix everything.
Praxis.
I bought like 10 anime figurines like during the pandemic.
You're doing Praxis.
You got to send me some pictures, man.
I think you saw some of them on like we'll talk later. But anyway, Praxis. Okay. Yes, Grant. I'm doing Praxis.
Well, yeah. And the good thing about the USPS is, they finally have air conditioning and airbags in their trucks now, because they rolled out that new. They didn't have that before.
What the fuck?
They didn't have that before, but now they have that. So.
Oh,
I guess can I move my 2 minutes of hate to anyone in the upper echelon of USPS?
Yeah.
Because fuck, I know everyone's like fuck DeJoy, but like, yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
Grant, what do you got?
My key to the city this week goes to one of our newer Discord members, and I don't like to call people out and put the spotlight on people. Because sometimes people are like, the spotlight, get it away from me. Some of these
so hot it burns.
Some of these people in the Discord are downright cockroaches. You put the light on them and they scatter. They don't want to be there. They don't want to be in the light. But Discord user Junebat sent us this awesome Fire Bros picture that now we're going to use as the album artwork for the Fire Bros bonus episods.
Yeah, that's super awesome. I love it.
Super awesome.
It's John Stintsy on Insta. That's STINTZI, and then just Stintsy on Twitter.
Yeah.
So they put out this. It just was cool to just open it up and be like, oh, somebody drew us. Like,
right.
Just once in a while getting something like that really does, like, it made my day. It made my week.
And so I guess in order to also round about the plug, I think they also have like a book that came out just before the pandemic, and they were gonna do a fucking 20 to 30 city tour, including in Chicago. That didn't happen. So I guess they wrote a book called Vanishing Monuments. So check out them's links that we mentioned at John Stintsy on Insta, at Stintsy on Twitter. A rising tide floats all boats, as they say.
True. Speaking of thankful gratitude and everything like that, I got a new segment here is thank you to our new patrons this week. If you want to support the show, throw us a few bucks over at patreon.com/thoughtcops. We get all kinds of extra bonus content, backlog of extra episodes, as well as access to the live chat, people hanging out here right now. So thank you to our new patrons this week, John Elizabeth, which I believe is Stintsy.
Yeah.
T.A. and Tyler Patton. Thank you. Patreon.com/thoughtcops.
And of course, thank everybody else for, also having been a Patreon, but, to sort of, again, shine a light on some people.
Yeah, go ahead and unsubscribe and resubscribe, and next time I'll read your name.
Yeah, indeed.
Before we get to the final segment of the show, which is our listener voicemails, Martin, if you can plug everything you got, man.
Sure. Yeah, I want to plug the podcast I do with Brandon Kirkman and Luke Evans Flip, Podzooky. I already talked about that earlier, but hey, Kaiju Times, it's a fun one. Go listen to our 69th episode. That's a fun one. We had Jamie Carbone on, who's a very funny comedian. We talked about Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive. Nice. Follow me on Instagram. I don't do much on the internet nowadays, but I have an account that's called Weird Thrift Shop Finds. And,
I do, Martin. I do thoroughly enjoy that account.
Yeah,
I get a lot out of that. You find a lot of weird shit there. You're not lying with that username, man.
I obviously don't go thrifting as much as I used to, but if I wake up early enough on weekdays, I try to go out right when they open just so I can avoid as many people as possible and go picking for some fun stuff. And if I can plug just one more thing, I would say check out my roommate's Instagram, Ridith Mochi. He does fantastic Gundam artwork. He's been drawing Gundams since we were in high school, and his artwork has always been incredible. And over the last year, it's gotten really, really horny. So it's a good follow.
Yeah, a lot of people in our Discord are posting pictures of Gundams every single day. So, I mean, that's definitely on brand for our listener base.
That's true.
Hell yeah.
Also want to extend the Patreon thank you segment just a little bit here. Thank you to our new patron, Walker McDonald. Thanks, Walker. How weird of timing is that, huh?
He's not even listening right now either.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what the fuck? That is weird.
Just new. And this is the first time we're doing that segment, too. Something's going on here.
Something smells fishy. Anyway, speaking of those listener voicemails, if you want to give us a call of your own, leave us a voicemail, 312-788-7361. Or you can always send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. Hit it.
Hey, baby, I hear the blues are calling. Tossed salad and scrambled eggs. And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe. But I got you pegged. But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. So they're calling again. There, Grant. You finally got me to do it. No piano accompaniment as I promised last time.
Man.
Nonetheless, I have delivered, gentlemen.
accompaniment.
Thought Cops, good evening to you. I hope you've been having a pleasant Thursday evening. I know I have. I'm happy to be home. I hope you are too, as well as your listeners. Nonetheless, gentlemen, voicemail time. Grant.
40 seconds in.
You and I have an unsettled beef. Seems we had many discussions of sequels last night.
Oh my God.
Including major wars, politicians, despots, and the like. I just wanted to let you know, if you ever want to discuss a very particular sequel, you know where to find me, my friend. Kevin, keep up the excellent work.
God damn it.
Grant,
Thank you, sir.
I'm waiting.
Okay, I'll give you did the tossed salad and scrambled egg thing, so I'll bend a knee a little bit, and I'll say that, sure, fine, Paper Mario can be a spiritual sequel to Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Okay, is that what you wanted to hear? Wife was ill, no piano. Oh, sorry to hear that. That sucks. Anyway.
But at least you got what you wanted.
I got what I wanted, so you got what you wanted. This is how the economy works, This is why capitalism works so well, is because supply and demand. So we both supplied, we both demanded, and we got what we wanted out of it. Mutually beneficial. So
speaking of which,
all right, what's going on, guys? I hope you're all doing well.
I'm doing well.
So my 2 minutes of hate this week is this specific type of comment on political discussions on the internet. And I see this mainly on posts that ask the question like, is water a human right? Is healthcare a human right? Is food a human right? And it's always this guy that has like a politics posting account with like 39 followers that posts, just because you make it a human right doesn't render it immune to scarcity. And I always think, yeah, you're not necessarily wrong here, but just because you learned a new word doesn't mean it means anything. It's the same people, like it's in the same vein, like people who just quote statistics.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, this group is oppressed. Oh, but did you know that they do this and this? Well, that's not the point, you fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. All right. My punishment for these people is they just, I don't know, don't get water, healthcare, or food. I think that's pretty good. All right. Peace out.
That was a good one.
That's a good punishment and a good point. I do feel like there's so many things nowadays that, like, I don't know. I'll learn back in my college days. I had to take a class in statistics. And they show you like, hey, here's an example of a statistic, but like, what does that mean? Like, who did the survey? Who was the sample? How did they get the sample? Who was the sample size? can you draw a conclusion that this is statistically important? Is it relevant? Could it be wrong? Could it be right? To which degree is it wrong or right? How do these different variables affect it? And it gives you a more sort of nuanced understanding of like how people use statistics, why people use statistics, et cetera, et cetera. And people love to just throw out, whatever percentage of people do whatever percentage of crime. And it's just like, yeah, don't put any more thought into it than that. Just there's the statistic. I saw this on a website and it's true. And I don't have to do any more thinking about anything. Like you said, I learned a new word and it's just like, scarcity. Yeah, no, things do be scarce sometimes. You have a right to oxygen, but it doesn't mean that one day we might just not have oxygen on the planet anymore. You're right. We should just get rid of the right to. You should just sell. We should all just not be able to have oxygen. You should pay the government a tax for oxygen.
Hey, you started to win me over.
Yeah.
Ooh. I love the stinger. Nice.
This is the Discord news for this week, bringing you all the news worth reporting from the virtual streets of Neo Chicago.
We are sad to report that longtime member and resident brony of the server, Starlet Alpha, has disappeared.
He's back.
In what all the rest of us could only hope to, he escaped the posting hell that is the Thought Cops Discord.
Unfortunately, since we missed having him around, we asked him to come back, and he is once again living in the hell that is Discord posting.
In hashtag outrage, Starlet Alpha and Sleep Science argued about sexualization and objectification of women in video games.
What you wish for.
The character Bayonetta came up in the discussion multiple times. That reminds me, I really should finish that game.
Hashtag Whiskeys and Daddy Sodas got excited about a purple can of whiskey and cola, which will undoubtedly cost 4 times more than a bottle of whiskey and a bottle of cola.
By questioning the validity of canned Crown Royal and Coke, Io Blazerunner proved his severe lack of what the rapper Nelly would call the pimp juice.
As a hilarious and cruel joke, for the majority of the week, anytime Spicy Yosef asked for more clarification about something, no one answered.
There still hasn't been a Fire Bros episode since December. Another thing taken from us in 2020.
And finally, in sports news, the Canada Moist Talkers look to be in a good position to take the championship this season. Big shout out to everyone who's joined the sports channel to talk about baseball.
This week's Discord news has been presented to you by Spicy Joseph and Io Blazerunner.
Okay. I just want to comment on the fucking purple drink thing. Martin, there is this Crown Royal is putting out these cans, like these purple cans that has cola and is it rum or whiskey? Crown Royal, I forget.
It's a whiskey. Yeah, it's Canadian whiskey. So,
and he's like. He sounds like he's coming in with stepdad energy, like, oh, you could just buy it for cheaper if you put them both in the same glass. That's not the point. Like, I want to be at a party with my boys, cracking open a purple can of purple drink.
What if it's bad, though?
I don't give a fuck. Like,
you don't care if it's bad?
I want to be there, like, this is the thing. We all get our vaccines. We're all chilling. We're all grilling, We're eating meat.
Chilling and grilling.
And we got our purple cans and we're popping tabs and just sipping and chugging and just having the time of our lives. And that's how I want to come back from the pandemic, drinking a purple can because it makes me happy.
Is it just the color that you want? You just get any
the color, the convenience, when you crack it open, knowing that it's not just beer inside, but it's cola and whiskey in the same can. It's like the new White Claw. People are saying this is going to be the drink of the summer. Like, just having that. It's like, yeah, you could get this somewhere else for cheaper, but having it in one can and saying, here's mine, here's yours, Grant. Have at it. We both crack it at the same time and we're having a drink, and we're having the
I don't want that.
And you don't want to be there, that's fine. Martin, I'll give it to you. You can have it.
No, I'll be there. I just don't want your weird I can just it's 4 times the price. Like
you're not going to be there. You just lost your fucking invite. Your bad attitude.
Okay. I'll just hang out here. I've been doing that for a year. You think you can take me down? I don't think so.
I mean, some people probably got used to it. They're
you merely adopted depression. I was born with it.
I was born with mental illness.
Hey, I respect the novelty. I mean, hell, I'm going to pick up a can just so I can put it on my shelf with the other novelty drinks I still have.
Exactly. and not even drink it. Just look at it.
Exactly. I got to put it right between the Zima and the Crystal Pepsi.
You really have a collection going there.
Oh, yeah. I got a can of Booty Sweat from when Tropic Thunder came out. I got a can of Surge. I've got some Ecto Cooler from when Lady Ghostbusters came out.
Oh, hell yeah.
I got a nice little collection going.
I remember the original Ecto Cooler. I used to buy that all the time when I was... Well, I didn't buy it. My parents bought it. I was 6.
I hope they release a new Ecto Cooler with the new movie, but it has Muncher on the side. The obese blue ghost.
Hey, Thought Cops.
Oh, hey, Lars.
My 2 minutes of hate this week goes out to people who are wanky about other people's charity efforts.
What does wanky mean?
I just really dislike this. I think it's really dumb when there's a situation where someone, like either a corporation or another person, does something for charity and they're like, oh, well, they're only doing that to help their reputation or to sell more. It's like, yeah, no shit.
Sometimes, sure.
It's still a good thing that they're doing.
Right.
Like, it's great that people are charitable. And I think the whole questioning of the morality of the rationale behind it is just such a wanky thing to do. Like, just shut up and let people be helpful.
It is very sort of like pick-me-ish, you know?
That should have been this week's word of the week, wanky.
Maybe
next time.
Yeah, next time.
But what were you going to say?
No, it is sort of like, I don't know if I'm using the word right. It is pick-me-ish because it's like, actually, like, did you know that companies can just write that off? And it's like, yeah, everybody knows that. Like, yeah, I do have a cynicism towards the role of charity in terms of its ability to distribute resources effectively. But like, if Burger King's like, hey, I guess Burger King's a bad example last week considered. Yeah. But if McDonald's was like, hey, we're doing a program, to raise money for ALS or something like that. I think
Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah. Well, I was specifically trying to not choose an example. But like if whatever company, if Target was like, hey, there's a lot of people out there that are just missing a hand. We're raising money. And your response to that is like, they're just going to write that out. It's just like, dude, just let them do the thing. Just let them do it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, just let them do one good thing.
Yeah, you don't need to personally like Target more because they do that. You can just accept that they did a good thing and go back to fucking hating them.
Right. There is like a toxic negativity to a lot of it. And I realize that we host a toxically negative talk show, but
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, you boys have been real positive tonight.
I don't feel like it, but I guess I'm just trying to make light of the things that we're seeing in the best way possible.
Hey, it's your boy, Brandon Kirkman, calling to check on his Kaiju Hollywood bad boy, Martin. Hope you guys are having a good episode. I'm calling like mid D&D stream that I forgot to call earlier, but I'm dedicated to my boy. Yeah, he's a very talented baker. I like that he's got those proficiencies. So I've always been curious, Martin, what's the most hated baked good? Like if there's any baked good you could take out Tenali with a gun and just end its life completely, what would it be? I gotta know. Other than that, as always.
Yes. Yes! Let's fucking go!
It was a long flush.
He's got a powerful toilet.
Makes you wonder what it's trying to suck down. Anyway, Martin.
I guess.
Martin, what is the worst baked good? So I would say maybe not just in terms of taste, but also like in terms of preparation, all that kind of stuff.
I can't even think of one because like all of the baking I've done over the last year it's been for myself or I've been leaving shit on friends' porches. So I've exclusively been doing things that are delicious and easy to make. Anything that requires a lot of raisins. Fuck that.
Why do you say that?
I don't like raisins.
I'm not big on raisins.
You don't like eating them or cooking with them?
Both.
I would say I'm not a big fan of the scone. Like I don't hate scones, but I feel like it's like for how sugary and bad they are for you, they just don't like equate to the amount of taste you would want. And also like if I wanted, I would like.
It's a very dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's just a scone on its own, then I 100% agree with you. If you have like a nice hot chocolate or maybe like a matcha tea, like I love a good scone where you can do a little dipping.
Yeah, but it's like it has to be aided by that dip, It's like you can't just have it on its own.
And there are better and worse scones, You get one of those like fucking Starbucks hockey pucks, like throw that straight out the window. throw it at the window, it'll probably end up on the other side of the window. But yeah, you go to like a nice bakery and that, you know, sort of like a neutrally sort of.
I feel like any baked good has the ability to be like the worst thing possible. Depends on how it's made and who's making it.
Unless Martin's making it and you're at an open mic.
Also true.
Oh no, I've fucked up so many things before.
Well, haven't we all?
Well, everybody, anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, is what I meant to say. Martin, thanks for coming back on the show, man.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This is so lovely.
If you guys want to support the show, give us a few bucks over at patreon.com/thoughtcops. If you want to leave your own voicemail, give us a call, 312-788-7361. Or you can send us an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. See you next time.
See you, Space Cap.
You're going to carry that weight.
Nice.